Historically, Santa, as we know it today, is kind of a combination of Sinterklaas from Germany, Kris Kringle from Germany, Father Christmas from England. But if we're talking about like the modern Santa that we think of, it can only really be traced back to the 1800s with Dutch immigrants in New York.
Hmm.
So the Dutch came and brought Sinterklaas, also known as St. Nicholas, and his feast day was on December 6th. And it was eventually moved to December 25th because that was the time that people would gather together for the Christmas holiday. So it was a Roman Catholic feast day that was eventually kind of subsumed into the birth of Christ, into the Christmas holiday. And newspapers promoted it and encouraged people to give gifts on Christmas instead of New Year's, like it was traditionally in North America before that. But Sinterklaas was rebranded uh, from uh, sort of the Catholic tradition by the Dutch in New York in and around the same period. And that's when you start to get the red suit pop up. After this, Santa was, exported around the world to different countries, and it added new spins. Stockings were also promoted around this time period and can be traced back to um, a Finland in the late 1920s, and they all kind of get grouped into the same story. So there's this like mythological drift with all of these different individuals. When the British settlers come, they also bring Father Christmas, which was a tradition in England at that time too, and this gets adopted and kind of branched into all of these different characters, Saint Nicholas, Sinterklaas, and then I do believe Kris Kringle originally was Christ Kringle, and it was part of a celebration of Jesus's birth. Jesus is a baby, and then all of these just become the same thing as time goes on. And then we give presents because the stores want you to buy presents,
Yeah.
but the origins are very, very modern. So I've seen accusations of it going back to Babylonian myth, or this is actually Odin or Thor or something like that. It's not the case. When we actually look at where these things start to pop up and the why and the when, they're pretty modern and they're pretty innocent in the grand scheme of things.